guys, I'm AllisonAlanna, and I just turned 39 about 2.5 weeks ago, and I had this idea to share with you all 39 things I learned in the 39 years that I've been on this earth. So number one, I would say number one is God will never leave me. There was a time just last year, really, where I was literally living in this very truck that you see me sitting in, me and 3 out of 4 of my kids. And God made it so that we never went a day but we didn't have food. We never went a day but we couldn't go and take a shower. We never went a day where we didn't have the things that we needed. We never really, it was almost as if we still had a house. The house was just mobile. You know, there was so many different times when people just randomly sent me money, or, you know, just small little things that happened that helped it to be an easy transition until we ended up to be in the place that we are temporarily in now. But I hear a lot of stories about people that get SA'd while living in their car, especially women, people going and, you know, getting on substances, just all kinds of things that happen to you when you go through such a drastic life change. And I'm just really thankful and really grateful that I've never experienced any of that. I remember a couple of times, actually, I can't even say one. A couple of times I was in my car. So I used to pull up to hotels just so I could kind of like blend in with the hotel traffic. Because, you know, people come in and out of hotels at all times of night. And I was sitting in my car in front of a hotel. We were asleep, and I started to just like hear something, and I jumped up out of my sleep, and it was a bunch of guys had pulled up in the car next to me. And it was like anytime somebody approached that car or got too close to me and my kids, it's like God just woke me up just like that to make me be aware of my surroundings, to see what was going on, and to just kind of, you know, like be, like I said, aware of what's going on so that we could be safe. And if I felt like I had to move, I would move, and, you know, things like that. So until this day, I don't know why I had to go through such a terrible experience. Like, living in your car is probably as bad as it gets. The only thing left for you to do is like not have a car and then be literally living on the sidewalk or sleeping on the sidewalk. But to this day, I don't know why I experienced that per se, but I kind of always felt like it was to kind of expose me to what the homeless life was like, because that's the ministry that God is calling me to. But that's a whole different topic. But nonetheless, like I said, he will never leave you. Even now, my life is still not perfect. It's still not where I wanted for it to be, but it's better. And every day, even if it feels like he's not listening, he's not with me, he's not answering, he's definitely there. So number one is God will never leave you. Number two, never get too comfortable leaving your kids with anyone, okay? I have always just had like a bad feeling about leaving my kids with anyone, which is why they're always with me. But honestly, leaving them even with their fathers can sometimes be a horrible, horrific decision, because sometimes people pretend really well and they're not who they claim or you thought they were. I remember I had an experience with my son where I thought I could trust my son with his other parent, and it turned up to be a whole mess. And it wasn't until really years later, once we got away from him, that my son opened up and started to tell me other things that I would have never dreamed or never expected for him to come and tell me that he had experienced while being with his own dad. So it's not always, oh, well, it's their dad, they're safe. No, sometimes the dad is the worst person that you could leave them with. And as I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's been going around on TikTok, a video of the trophy wife speaking about her experience with getting with a man that she married to, had a couple of kids by. I think she had some previous children on her own. And she actually recently found out about 6 weeks ago or so, she said that her children were being molested. And those little girls are 2 and 4 years old. So it's just like, wow. I mean, again, just never get too comfortable with leaving your kids with anybody. Always fill them out. Whenever maybe they're not going to tell you exactly what happened to them, but if they start to act like they don't like this person or they don't want to go around this person, don't always just be like, oh, it's fine, such and such, go ahead with them and whatever. Like, look at their body language. Sometimes they can only communicate with you through body language. They don't have the vocabulary to really tell you what's going on. So anytime you see your kids acting different or scared or nervous to go around somebody, please respect that as a statement of they don't want to go, and don't force them to go. I know a lot of us got to work and all this kind of stuff, but you're going to have to at some point choose what's more important to you, the safety of your kids or this job. So number 2, never get too comfortable leaving your kids with anybody, period. Number three is homeless people will help support before somebody that is living in a mansion. Okay. When I was literally out here on the street with my kids, I used to go to this center that was for homeless people. And I would go in there sometimes to like talk to a caseworker or to wash my clothes or whatever the case might be. But I noticed how close-knit all the people that were homeless and unhoused were. They was helping each other with lunch. They be out in the parking lot doing each other hair. They out there talking. I mean, they giving each other like information. They got resources for each other. They really got each other's back. And I think the main reason for that is the fact that they understand what it's like to be out here, to not have a place, to just feel like you on your own, or to feel like nobody cares, or to see your family literally watching you go through this and nobody stepping in to help you or offer you a room for 6 months or anything, even if it's a room in their house. You know what I mean? You be lucky if you get that. So with that being said, homeless people have a big heart. It's usually the people that are broke or have had a really broke experience that come out here and look for each other. So never look out for each other. So never look down on a homeless person because they got a big heart. And you never know when the tables might turn and you be the one homeless and they be the ones with the money that could come and help you. So always just be kind to everybody. Don't look down on anybody because of their situation, and have some understanding and some compassion. And as a matter of fact, if you see a homeless person today, get them something that you got, whether it's you can get them a gift card that you had in your car, or money, or food, whatever it might be. Give them something today. Number 4, sometimes God will keep you from getting a job because he has a bigger purpose for you. And I know that might sound crazy to some people because it's just like, I need me a job. How God gonna keep me from a job because he want a bigger purpose for me and this and it's like some people are very surface level thinkers and very they never go in depth behind the basics or what they think life should look like or what life should be. Right. So with that being said, it's a very true thing. I'm gonna tell you, I had this friend that was into ministry. And before she could find a job as a pastor, she was trying to work for Uber. She was trying to work for all these little places, like these odd jobs, and could never find anything. And it was because God didn't want her to get into these other side gigs and these distractions. He gave her that time to study, to read her Bible, to just be at one with him before he put her in that place of being a youth pastor, of being in the children's ministry, of doing what she was kind of already doing anyway for free. She had got hired as hired for the actual position. So sometimes it's like, okay, those other little things you're looking into are just way beneath the purpose that God has for you. And so that's why they're not working out, because I mean, who can't really get a job with Uber? You know what I mean? That was definitely a sign. But there's other times where it might just be like, okay, he don't want you to work at a 9 to 5. He might want you to only be in business. And that's kind of like how I feel for myself, because I have applied for so many 9 to 5s. When I went homeless last year, I was looking for different jobs and things like that. Never found anything, never got hired. Some of the times I didn't even get responses to my applications. And if I did get a response, it was always a decline. It was always, we're interested in another candidate. Sorry, we'll keep your stuff on in a profile for this amount of time, blah, blah, blah. We all know how that goes, but it never worked out for me. So I just decided to work with what I have, which is content creation on my YouTube channel specifically. And it's just like, that's just where I am until God is ready to elevate it even more and allow me to earn more financially from there. So don't ever think because, things aren't working out for you that there isn't something else. Sometimes it's just, you go through this like slow season where things are quiet for you and you got to pull closer to God before you can get to where you got to get. Number 5 of 39 things I learned in 39 years. And I want to read this one verbatimly how I wrote it down. When people feel like they are helping you, they will give you the bare minimum or deliberately give you the worst they have to offer. And that's one of the most disgusting ones that I have personally experienced in my 39 years of life. It's true, but it's really sad and disgusting. And the reason being is, why don't you think that people that you are helping still want to be treated correctly, or still want to have a choice, or still want to feel like a human being? Some people will give you literally the bottom of the bottom just because they're helping you, and then they'll tell you, oh, well, you can't do it for yourself, so you better take what you could get. Beggars can't be choosy. And that is absolutely false, in my opinion. A beggar can be choosy. Somebody in need can be choosy. I'm not saying if somebody gives you a $5 bottle of Tide to say, I don't use no Tide, you better go get me some Diva off of Amazon. Or you better go, you know what I mean? I'm not saying to be like snobby and rude, but you can voice your opinion on what you want. If somebody is giving you food when you know you need money, you can say, you know what, I really appreciate you doing this for me. However, is it possible you can help me out with some money because I had something that I wanted to pay? Or like you can speak up and say yay or nay for what you want. And a lot of people will try to silence you and make you feel like you can't have a voice for yourself because you're in need. You better shut up, take what you get, girl, because that's just it. You know what I mean? So I was looking at threads one day, and this girl made a thread, and it was just like, wow, I can really relate to this, because she said that if you're giving somebody a bag of clothes and you don't wash the clothes first, that is a direct indication of what you think and feel about that person. And I was like, I couldn't agree more, because it's like you're telling them, hey, you can't afford clothes, so you better take my dirty clothes and figure out the rest. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, if you're gonna give me something and it's used, have the decency to wash the clothes, to dry the clothes and make sure that they're folded and in decent looking condition. Don't bring me clothes with stains on it, and don't bring me clothes that your kid had, pooped on and the poop couldn't come out of the clothes. Like, don't do that. Respect me as a person and understand that no matter what I'm going through, even if I need help, I still deserve decency. I still deserve respect, and come at me with respect even when you're offering me things. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know why people have that kind of mindset, like beggars can't be choosy and you better take what you can get type stuff. But everybody that's going through something or that is homeless is not somebody that's strung out on drugs, or just like something wrong with them mentally or something like that. Sometimes people just really have bad luck and bad hardships when it comes to finances. So don't ever think that because they're in that spot that they don't have a desire for better things or good things, or that they don't deserve better, because at one point they probably had better than you. So with that being said, just kind of, if the next time you go to give somebody something or whatever, make sure that it's in decent condition. And the next time someone is offering you something, if it's not in great condition, or it's not clean, or look like they cared when they gave it to you, you do not have to accept it. Number 6, God will hide you if you ask him to. Child, if I could go into great detail about this right now, I would, but unfortunately I can't. Just know when I say, when you ask God to hide you, honey, he's going to hide you. When you ask him to blind the eyes of people that are looking for you, or that you don't want to be seen by, trust me, he's going to blind the eyes of those people. Put scales literally over their eyes so that they just won't be able to find you, see you, get up with you, none of that. So pray that prayer. If it's some situation that you got going on where you just need to be like low key for a little bit, or hidden for a little bit, or just out of the way for a little bit, please pray that prayer. It works. And I'm not sure at the very moment, but look up what scripture that is, when they were building the Tower of Babel, and he made them speak different languages so that they wouldn't understand each other anymore, because they were literally trying to build a tower to heaven, and he didn't want that to happen. So he made them speak different languages so they couldn't understand each other anymore. And also, I believe that he hit them with blindness. Also, Saul, when Saul was on the road to Damascus, or what is it, a street called Straight or something like that, he hit him with scales over his eyes. Okay, so he was blind. Whenever he needs for you to not be seen, you can simply ask for him to hide you. So pray that prayer. I promise you that it works. Building something great doesn't happen when we think it should. It always happens when God says yes. Child, I think a great example of this is me starting a YouTube channel back in February of 2011. I would post here and there on the channel. I would say, okay, I'm gonna get real consistent this time. I'm gonna post. Then something would go wrong with my phone. Excuse me, something would happen here, something would happen. It was always like a distraction to keep me from being the consistent person that I thought I would be, right? And I never understood why I couldn't be consistent on the platform. Why when I was being consistent, I couldn't see the growth that I thought I was supposed to see, right? However, last year in 2023, May of 2023 to be exact, I put out a video that God had told me to record. And I put it out. Actually, I had recorded the video in February of 2023. Couldn't get room on my phone to export the video back to my phone after I edited it. Couldn't figure it out. Deleted some of my stuff. Still never had room on my phone. And suddenly in May, I was able to get the video up. Slowly but surely, I started to post more. And I started to be like really real, really open about what I was going through in my personal life. And my channel blew up. After 10 days of posting consistently, I was monetized. And my very first check on YouTube had a comment in it. A lot of people get monetized and can't seem to even make the minimum threshold that they have, which is only $100. And I literally got monetized in 10 days, and I had a check with a comma, my very first check. So that was a huge accomplishment for me, but delayed does not mean denied in whatsoever. It's just probably just not your time. And I feel like, honestly, like 2 years ago, if I would have started YouTube, or even like before, if I was like being consistent and I grew, I probably would have got kicked off, because I still was like cursing like all the time. Every other word was a curse word for me. And I probably would have been cussing people out, legit trying to meet up with them, find out where they at, getting them looked up and pulling up to go fight, because that's just the type of person that I was. And honestly, I feel like deep inside, I'm still that girl. But I'm just a lot more mature. I'm just a lot more in control of myself. I'm just a lot more mature, a lot more in control of myself. Hopefully the Bluetooth didn't mess this video up just now. But more in control of myself, and just more like a little wiser. And I spent a lot of time like fasting and praying and trying to just come out of that old state, because that was just going to do nothing but land me in jail, right? So I got my attitude a lot more mastered down. I let a lot of things slide these days. When I say a lot, I mean a lot of stuff slide. And sometimes I'd be like, what's wrong with you? Are you all right? Like, are you losing who you once were? But I feel like my uproar attitude is more so used towards different things now, not really towards other people and bullcrap, you know? So again, sometimes it's just not your time. Just keep building, and when it is your time, it will happen for you. Number 8, monitoring spirits are real. They watch and stalk whatever you do in hopes that you won't make it, that you won't thrive, okay? And I personally have come across people that don't like me, don't talk to me, know that we could never have a decent conversation in real life. Know that, you know, sometimes a person just mess up so bad, you got to forgive them, because that's what God wants you to do, but you just can't be in my space. We can't walk on no low level of any sort. You got to go. Like, just whenever you see me, I'm gonna walk by you, you gonna walk by me, and we straight. It ain't no beef. We ain't gotta war nothing out, but just stay over it. You feel me? And these same people are watching my every move on social media. They're watching to see what's going on in my life, so that they can have something to talk about, gossip about. Like I said, I've been very transparent about my journey over the last about 18 months since I had my homeless experience. And, you know, it's just like, people, they come in to see that because to them that makes them feel good. Like if you know, like say for instance you're a dude that dated me, if you know you messed over me and it's like, wow, her life, you know what I mean, let me see how her life doing, because the person gonna regret when they see your life up. They thinking, oh well, I should have treated her better so I could be a part of that, or whatever the case might be. But they looking like, yeah, her life ain't good, so it's like, yeah, I might not be with her, but at least she not living a good life with a good man and making good money. You know what I mean? Like people think like that. It's people out there that are perfectly okay with seeing you like in the back of the room. Once you get up front, they're mad, they're jealous, they're envying you. Like, you know, they're really just watching to see what's going on. It's a lot of people that could have unfriended me years ago that, you know, you was mad at me for something. You started treating me funny. You could have just unfriended me, but you kept me on your list because you want to see what's going on in my life. And I personally don't care to unfriend you or anything like that, because half the time I don't even think about you. But you're constantly watching me. I'm seeing you in my stories. I'm seeing you in my comments, and you're acting like we're cool when you know that we're not. You know, so it's all about sharing, you know, what you really only want the public to know, what you would be okay with anybody knowing, not talking about things too soon, only really talking about things when you know you got a yes on something, and it's stamped, it's no way that it could switch up, you know what I mean? Because sometimes we talk too soon, and then here come that little monitoring spirit trying to wish bad on it, or hope that things go wrong with it so that it will fall through for you. So they're real. Keep a lot of things to yourself until they're set in stone. Number 9, this is another one that I also want to read verbatimly, okay? Family is literally nothing more than DNA. If you don't come from supportive DNA, build your own tribe. Take your time. Find people who are the way you want them to be, okay? Lord, I could say so much about this, but I'm going to keep it short and simple. Just because somebody is your family doesn't mean that they love you or that they support you. Sometimes it could be your own family that wants to see you fail, that is jealous. They want you to do good, but not better than them. They're watching, and when you think that they are watching to be in support, they're really watching with secret envy and secret animosity behind what you're building and what you're doing. So with that being said, yeah, don't ever think that because you have family and you know they're your family that they're okay, or it's allowed for them to mistreat you, do you wrong, you know, disrespect you, and most importantly, like, disrespect your boundaries. If they're doing that, then you need to go and build the tribe of people that you want. That find some people, go out somewhere, whether it's your church, whether it's like community meetups, whatever the case might be. Like, find people that really need, you know, the same type of bond or the same type of build that you're looking for. And slowly but surely, you don't have to rush into, oh, I got to find a new family today, let me go and get 10 people that I just met 2 weeks ago and make them my family. Like, no, you can take your time, really feel people out, see how they are, see if that's the place that you want to be in and the type of people that you want to be connected to, because some of us just aren't blessed with good people. Unfortunately, we are not. And sometimes if you really want other people around, you have to go ahead and build them yourself. Number 10, sometimes people help you purposely. They use their help to help you purposely, to handicap you. For some reason, they're offended with the fact that you want help, that you want to help yourself. Sorry, I messed that up one a little bit. But basically what I'm saying is, sometimes people come to help you, honey, and it's because they don't want you to be able to help yourself. They give you something only with the intent of hindering you. And I know that sounds crazy because people want the support. People want the help. People want people around them that have their back, right? But sometimes they are only helping you to hinder you. I'm going to tell you, I had this lady that I was working with last year. And she was helping me like with a place to stay. Sometimes she would help out with hotels. And she was trying to find like another kind of like temporary place for me to go so that we could cut down on the hotel costs and things like that. And because I was the type that was going around and I was like putting my name on lists for places and really looking around for things on my own, she was offended. She told me that me being a go-getter is what's holding me back. So basically, I'm supposed to sit back and wait for you to do something or accept what you give me if I don't want it. Because I promise you, if somebody gives me something that I don't want, I'm not going to take it. And I'm not going to try to like break bad with you about it either. But what I am going to do is go figure something out for myself. And because I did that, she was offended, and it kind of put like a strain on our relationship, which was actually a really good relationship. But she was offended by that. And to be honest, I don't care. I can't sit around waiting for people to do things for me, especially if they're giving me things that I don't want. So it is my responsibility as a woman and as a mother to get up and take care of what I need to take care of for myself. So when you feel like somebody is basically trying to spoon feed you and they don't want, you to help yourself, it's a reason for that. And usually it's just to have you hindered or to have control over the situation, because they might be getting something from it. Maybe she was going to get a bonus, or maybe she was going to get something from being able to place me where she wanted me to be. But nonetheless, it's okay. I figured something out for myself. And in a case like that, never, never, never allow somebody to feed you to the point where you can't go to the kitchen and cook for yourself. And if you go cook for yourself, they're mad at you for doing that. That's weird, and something's definitely wrong with that. All right, so it's much later in the afternoon, and I've lost my pretty light. However, number 11 is everyone should spend time with their family for at least 3 months to a year to determine if children/family is the route for them. And I think that you should never, ever, ever have kids before doing this. So something like being a nanny, being a babysitter, something along those terms, or even just asking for that particular purpose. Like, hey, I am thinking about having a family. I'm thinking about getting married, and I want to kind of see what it's like from the inside. I don't want to be told. I don't want to watch TV shows about it. I literally want to come in and be hands-on. Is this something you're okay with? And I promise you that family probably going to tell you yes, especially if they trust you, because they want you to see what you're getting into, but they want the break. they want somebody else to come in and be hands-on with the kids. So yeah, I think that nobody on the sun, under this sun, should go and get pregnant or marry or any of that stuff until they really have been in and seen what a family life is like. Having kids is really, really hard, and it's a lot more to it than just the cute little baby that you rock in your arms and goo goo gaga with. It's a huge long-term commitment, and every day is different. It's always something going on. Your kids, their temper tantrums, their moods, finances, all the things that you need for them. It's just something that words don't even put together well. You gotta just experience it for yourself. So I just say that having kids is probably a lot different than what a lot of people think it is. And they should really consider becoming a nanny, a full-time babysitter, or like I said, just asking a family to sit in and really be hands-on with their kids so that they can see what it's really like. Preferably, I would say go to a family that has a newborn and a toddler. If you can survive a newborn and a toddler and still feel like you want that, that's definitely the job for you. Parenting is for you. Go in with a newborn and a toddler, and then you'll know if you want that for yourself. Number 12, people do not like you going after things that's going to make you successful. In fact, they will actually try to talk you out of going after things that are outside of the norm, okay? And what I mean by that is a lot of people have fear in going after things like businesses, putting themselves out there. Like, everybody wants to create content. I can't tell you how many times I see people generally on social media just say, I want to create content, but I'm scared. I want to create content, but I don't have the time. I want to be a content creator. I want to be a content creator because of this, but I want to be a content creator because of that. But it's always like they want to do it, but they letting something stop them. And really, that thing that's stopping them is the opinions of other people. It's not that you don't have time. It's not that you really scared. Scared of what? All you're doing is literally sitting in front of a camera by yourself and talking to the camera, and then you post it for others to see. You're not scared of doing that. You scared of what people are going to say. You scared of being judged. You know what I mean? And it's that fear that will allow other people to try to discourage you from doing it. You might be like, 70% they're like, you know what, I'm gonna go for this. And the person that's only 20% or still scared or nervous or like a people pleaser or just, you know what I mean, maybe struggle with anxiety or something like that, they telling you, nah, don't do that because that social media might not last forever, or this, nah, that business might not work, girl. Everybody's a hairstylist. Nah, you can't do that. Nah, it's a hairstylist. It's a hair salon everywhere. Why would you want to go for that? That's the favorite word. It's oversaturated, but it's room for everybody because everybody is different. No two people or no two businesses are the same. So it's like, it's a lane and an audience for everybody and everything. And it's just up for you to go through it and not allow the people to like discourage you from it, because they will definitely do that. The first thing that they always want to do is talk about the things that could potentially go wrong versus the things that could potentially go right. So babes, think about the things that could go right and don't let nobody talk you out of nothing that you want to do to be successful. Now this one right here really, really, really caught me off guard, because you just don't expect to get this kind of reaction from people, right? But honey, people who have more than you can very much so be jealous of you. And I always thought that jealousy came from material things, and maybe I got like a Gucci bag and such is mad because they don't have a Gucci bag, or like little stupid stuff like that. That's kind of like how I would look at jealousy. But now, baby, jealousy is like mental. Somebody could be upset with you because you have more information than them, or you're more outgoing than them, or you might have a lot of problems in your personal life, but you're still working your business or putting yourself out there creating content, or like that's particularly me. Like, I got a lot of people that are like very angry with me off of nothing, and I just look at it as jealousy. They talk about me negatively all the time, and it's usually jealousy, because what the issue probably is that they and I are in kind of like similar situations. And because I'm still up every day, giving it all that I can possibly give for that day, and I'm not letting anything stop me. I'm not letting what people say stop me. I'm not letting what the naysayers say stop me. I'm just going and hoping that every seed that I sow of work, every seed of work that I sow will be honored and eventually reap a humongous harvest bigger than what I'm expecting. And it bothers people. Like, I be seeing some really crazy, psychotic even comments about me that don't have nothing to do with what I talk about, what my videos are about, what I do, what I am, nothing. But people just can be really, really angry and envious of you. And who knows, that person might got more money than me. Not this particular person that I'm thinking of, but some people might have more money than me or whatever, but they jealous of like my drive, my mindset, my ability to keep pushing, my ability to go through something devastating, something that may have tore them up, and that I could still keep going. They're very bothered of the fact that I'm protected by God, and it's not really so much that can happen to me. I can go through things, but my mindset and my mentality and my desire to be a better woman and a better mother has never changed. And unfortunately, that may have been the case for them. They let go on a lot of things, and it's just bothering them. Money, trust me, money and material things is the least on the list these days of what people are jealous of you for. So remember that. Number 14. People who ruined their life and are not older will resent you for being younger and choosing better. And again, it's crazy. I've learned so much in the 18 months that I have been consistently creating content. And I see a lot of older women, coming at me and other creators that might be in my age group or even younger than me, and just being so angry about how they're living, how they're growing, the lifestyle that they choosing. It's bothersome to them. Why? Because they probably spent their younger years either chasing after men or catering to men that they weren't married to. And when they got older and wiser and saw that they wasted their time, instead of them trying to use the time that they still have to do something that they could have done and can still do, they choose to just go around and look at other people and criticize them and be negative towards them and have hostility towards them and try to make them feel like because they're younger than them, they don't know anything, and just be like envious versus trying to, hey, maybe give a pointer, give a tip, you know what I mean? Show some, give some information because you're older. They want to like try to tear you down, be negative, disrespect you, envy you, argue with you, talk about how you think you all of that, blah blah. I mean, it's sometimes crazy to see, and it's not a lot of them, but some of those older women that I have come across, mostly through social media, are really really angry, and even some people that I have come across in real life, you know, in my personal life, they have just been like really jealous and really envious of me always just having a drive and just trying to go for something more, even when I was at the very bottom. I never lay down and just said, oh, okay, well, I'm at the bottom. Let me just lay my tail here and do nothing and just say where I'm at because this is where I belong. You know, I've always gotten up and strived for something more. And because they may have let themselves go, whether through men, whether through their kids, and feel like, oh, well, I got kids, I can't pursue nothing more than this, you know? It could be even more reasons than that. Who knows? But that is definitely one thing that I have learned, that some of them older ladies are not nice and sweet and willing to give you information and help you get there. They're angry with you that you didn't waste your time like they did. Number 15, therapy helps, especially when you're getting like really good exercises to do through your therapist. My therapist is so good. I haven't met with her in a while due to some like personal reasons with my kids and everything, but when I was going regularly, oh my goodness, she would give me the best exercises. We'd have like really good conversations. She'd give me really good feedback where I felt like, you know, I was heard and I had something to use to try to implement in my life with that particular issue that we talked about. And she has really like taught me some really good exercises. Some of them were really really emotional and had your girl in tears crying like a little baby. And you know, others were a little bit more light, but some of those things was definitely needed to try and pull out some of those old emotions. Sometimes you don't even know something bothering you, and you know, it's like through your childhood traumas and stuff, you be thinking about something or something that happened that triggers a thought back to that moment, and then you're in tears. Like it really does like catch you when you're not really thinking about it, you know. And so it's got to be ways that you look at them and supplement with things, especially when you know that the person that did it to you, like if it's a parent and they did some really messed up things to you, and you know that they're never going to admit that they did it, they're never going to say sorry, they're always lying and pretending like they were perfect, and you just making stuff up, and you know what I mean, stuff like that. These exercises are able for you to kind of like tap into to them, almost as if you're talking to them, but you're not talking to them. You know what I mean? Through journaling, journal prompts. It's another thing called, I think it's called empty chairs, which I need to do that assignment once I get back in. And, you know, it's just a lot of things that really help bring it out. And when you could think about that topic or whatever you went through and it no longer bothers you, or if it used to make you cry and now you no longer cry, that's how you know that you heal from it. Number 16, don't forget your children's mental health as well. They go through things. They go through things as well, and it shouldn't be overlooked, you know. So if you feel like they went through a traumatic event, whether it was something you directly did or something you did as, you know, something that happened as a result that affected the whole entire family, don't just sweep that underneath the rug. You know what I mean? Especially if your kids are asking you about it and they seem concerned or worried, or, you know, take them somewhere to talk about their emotions too, and get them the help and whatever exercises that they can do to get the same healing that you are receiving in your own therapy. So don't forget them. Make sure that you keep their mental health at the forefront just as much as you keep your mental health at the forefront, because their mental health is just as important as yours. And a lot of people think that because kids are little, they don't have feelings. They forget that they are small, but they're still human beings. So please don't overlook their mental health. And if you know y'all went through something that was traumatic, get them some help as well. Number 17, a Roth IRA. Honey, I don't know if you've heard about it, but I have known about a Roth IRA for at least like 7 to 8 years now. And that is the way that broke people or people that are not yet wealthy can retire rich. It's simply just compounding money, and you don't even have to do it for the rest of your life. If you start early from like age 19 and you save $200 or maybe even $400 a month into your, put that amount into your Roth IRA, and you stop doing that when you're 26 and just leave it there, you will definitely retire with millions in your account. So if you don't know what a Roth IRA is, please look it up through Google. Please talk to a financial advisor about it. But trust me, you need to get a Roth IRA to compound money and leave it in there. And then when you retire, even if you weren't making millions in your younger days, when you were young and able to run around and do all you needed to do, now that you're older, you will retire very well off and be able to pay for your health care, your home care, whatever you're going to need, because you never know what condition you're going to end up in when you're elderly. So please, 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 if you don't know what that is, look into it and open one now. I have learned about that, and I'm very thankful that I know about it, because it is going to save me. If I don't get rich in my youth, I'm gonna definitely be rich in my elderly days. Number 18 of 39 things I learned in 39 years. A high yield savings account is better than a regular savings account. If you don't know what that is, go look it up. Talk to your financial advisor. Talk to your banker. Talk to whoever. Talk to whoever in finance. Go to your bank if that's the only place you can think to start. Go to your bank. Find out what it is. Open one up for yourself and for your kids if you can. Number 19, saving 3 to 6 months of your monthly expenses is considered an emergency fund, and it can really save you if you fall on hard times. This is something that I have been guilty of not doing, okay? I have not been able to save up money really at all, let alone 3 to 6 months of my monthly expenses. However, there are times when I do get back into my thoughts and my moments of, I want to save, I want to build, I this, I that. So I'm in that season now. And I've learned that never tell yourself that you can't save something. Like, pay your tithes first and save something first. Everything else can wait. Pay what you can pay with what's left, but always, always, always be paying yourself first in whatever way that looks like. For me right now, that looks like me putting at least $25 away per month when I get paid. Even if I can do more, great, do more. But minimally, don't put anything less than 25, and always be putting in that amount each month. And sometimes you might have to borrow something from yourself. This is also a good thing to add. You might have to borrow a little $10 or $15 from yourself. Borrow it and pay yourself back. So if you're putting $25 away for each month, the next month when you go to put in your 25, put that 15 or that $10 back in there, so that you can always be growing that that savings amount. So however you got to do it, get it done. And I have really seen the difference that life can make. Well, the different ways that things can go if you have a savings account. Because when I wasn't saving anything at all, like, I was flat on my tail. So don't be like me. Number 20, a lot of people are really concerned with fame. Like, really, really concerned. And I'm not one of them. I'd rather make money and memorable impact. Like, I remember one time I was talking to somebody, and they was like, girl, your followers is growing. That means you're getting more famous. And I was like, what's fame without the money? You know what I mean? I would never want to be known without the money. I'd rather be known, and I'd rather have the money and not be known. You feel me? Like, I realized that this space is very, very tricky. And although I'm not like some huge A-list celebrity, I got a little buzz, you know, here and there. And just people being able to like recognize me out in public, or be aware of who I am, it was a little like weird at first. But I mean, it comes with the territory of you making content, right? But honestly, I personally learned about myself that I'm just not one of them. I don't care about having fame. I don't really want to be known for real. I've never been the type of person that want to kick it, socialize with everybody. Like, my intuition way too strong for that. I'm not one of them. So what I learned about myself is that I'm not really looking for fame for real. A lot of people are in that, but I'm not. I want to make impact. I want to do something impactful for the world. Number 21, there are a lot of hurt people in the world who are suffering and want everyone else to hurt as well. Not everyone handles their bad times well at all. Like, okay, for instance, some people, like, okay, there's a type that's like, let's use myself for an example, right? Whenever I am going through something, which I go through things a lot, okay, and I never found myself going to people and trying to mistreat them specifically because of the fact that I'm not feeling good about myself or my situation or something like that. I'm never doing that, and I think that's what sets me and the people who operate like me apart. Because we'll look at somebody who's doing well and be like, dang, I want to get like that, or let me figure out what their backstory is so I can kind of see what we have in common and kind of, put two and two together that, okay, if they could go through all of this and get to somewhere, so can I. I look at it like that, and it's a lot of other people that look at other people, for motivation. But there are some other people that just be hurt and they be going through things inside, and they deliberately go out and look for people to try to destroy and to try to mentally like disrupt their peace, and just cause interference in their thinking. They just basically trying to throw you off your game. So if you're in a good mood, you're in a good headspace, you're doing well, you focus, you're not entertaining anything except for the things that are feeding you or doing well for you, that's when they come. You know what I mean? So be mindful of that don't even take everything personal, because that's what I've learned, not to take every attack or every awful thing said about you or excuse me, wished upon you personally. It's really the person itself. They're going through something, they're angry, and they don't know how to handle their emotions really, so again, just don't take that personal, because that's what I've learned to do. Number 22 is that fasting really made me sensitive to the spirit. Like the way that I act now and the things that I would have done in the past, I tend to think on them a whole lot harder because I'm more so concerned about how it will make God feel. Like if I know I'm about to go, I've been getting tongue tied all day for some reason. But if I know I am about to go and do something that the Lord said not to do in His Word, I steadily am thinking about that now. Like I am more concerned with how my actions make Him feel than how they make me feel. And I never even knew I could get to this point in my life, but I am always thinking about Him. What does His Word say? Is this appropriate? Is this going to set me back? Is this going to set my blessings back? Is this worth it? Is this person worth it? Should I be doing this? Like, what would Jesus do? Basically, like, I'm always thinking about that now. Number 23, I have the gift of dreaming, and my dreams typically come true. So I've gotten into the habit of writing my dreams down. I learned that from a previous pastor at one of my old churches. And it's funny how sometimes I could dream something and then go back to that book and see that I dreamed something, right? And then it'll happen, and then I can go back to that book and see that it was a dream of mine that I wrote down. So not like a dream that I dream like, oh, I want to get a jet or I want to own a mansion. Like not like them kind of dreams. It's like dreams that you just, if you're a dreamer, you get them randomly at night. And literally I'll just wake up and write them down. And then over time, or at some point, sometimes it's like 2 or 3 days. Sometimes it's like a year or two down the line or something like that. They will come true, and I'll be like, let me go look at my book and see if this is something that I remember dreaming. And there it is. So it's like, it's quite the experience, but I accept my gift for what it is. Number 24, parenting. Parenting is harder in your mid to late 30s than it is in your 20s. Child, I just feel like I've learned that this job was never really for me. While I have it, I do my best at it. But this job was never really for a girl like me. I am a girl that just wants to be left alone, take a vacation, go to dinner, kick it with my friends or by myself whenever I feel like it. I don't really want to have to be dealing with all of this, finding babysitters, going to school every morning, this and this and that. I just don't have the energy. And not that I'm like tired and worn out and, you know, like that, but it's just the fact that the toddlers and the whining and the crying and the unnecessary fusses about the green crayon really being orange and the messes and it's just a lot. And I feel like even though it was always a lot, it was more doable in my 20s when I only had 2 kids than now in my late 30s when I have 4 kids. It's a lot. So yeah, I have learned it's way easier to just have your kids in your 20s and then just be done with it. Number 25, I used to be the type that went with the go with the flow type of lifestyle, and that led me to exactly where I did not want to be. So now I think heavily, like I have become an overthinker now, like excessively about things before I do it, because going with the flow, like I said, led me to exactly what I did not want. And yeah, that can be quite the issue when you get to a certain age and you realize, hey, I was just like kind of going with the flow. I didn't really plan things out the way that they should have been. Especially when I started having kids, it was just like, look, these kids kind of just run my life at this moment, so I don't really have time to plan. If I do plan, it's very hard to stick to that plan as a mother that's single and is very hands-on with her kids and doesn't have any support and any other, you know, people to have my back and things like that. So it's like, when I realized that I really got to that point of being able to accept that that's what I did, it opened up my eyes to make me see, hey, this isn't the type of person that you were meant to be. This isn't what you wanted. Hey, the go with the flow crap is just not it. You got to start planning something. Even if you don't go with everything on that list, like write it down and try to stick to something, because something you're going to connect. At some point, you're going to connect with something, and your plans, you'll start to see your life be what you actually wanted it to be. Number 26, money gives you everything except the core things that really matter. So God, love, health, and genuine support. You can't really buy those. Anyone who is supporting you that it's not genuine, you're probably paying them to do so. It might still be good support, but if you're paying them, you know. So, there are some things that money will not be able to do. So no matter how rich you are and how better than people you think you are, or whatever the case might be, it's some things that you're not going to be able to pay for. It's a lot of people that have money who are lonely, who are miserable, because unfortunately, when you come from nothing and the people around you start to see you with something, it's like everybody now wants you only for your money, wants you to be around them only for your money. A lot of times the support and the love is not genuine once money comes into play. So your relationships start to be a little bit tricky. You know what I mean? Like, even if they start to see you with traction as a content creator or something in that arena, or traction as a business owner, it's like people who haven't talked to you in years and was ignoring your calls and not trying to talk to you, all of a sudden have interest in speaking to you. You know, so money is a dangerous thing depending on whose hands it's in and who that person is surrounded. But at the end of the day, no matter what it can buy, it still can't buy those things. God, love, money, genuine support. It can never buy you those things. So when you do have those things and they're real, hold on to those. Number 27, sometimes God will allow you to experience things so that you can use your experience to make a change for others. I think about Turkle Smith when I first learned about her and her story. She is now a real estate developer. I believe she started as a real estate agent and she just kind of worked herself up the ladder. Now she's a whole developer, honey. She didn't skip the investor, well, went through investor, now a whole developer. So she's developing communities, naming streets after her kids, naming streets after her family members, and really out here giving people housing. And to think back when she was a teen mom, abandoned by her mother, who allowed her drug dealer sold her to her drug dealer at 5 years old. So she allowed her drug dealer to molest her child. And she had to sleep up under a bridge after she had her first child as a teenager. And now she is a millionaire, you know? So her being homeless gave her the initiation. That's what woke her up. And that is what gave her the desire to go into housing, real estate, developments, things like that. And now she's housing people, and not just housing the big mansions and the big houses to people. She's actually selling houses for as little as $20,000, working with Section 8 and HUD, like really trying to make sure that people are off the street. And not only that, not only trying to collect money from people, but also teaching them how to get on their feet and be just like her. So I really feel like sometimes your experiences, those really low ones that look like hell and like they're never going to end, is exactly what you're going to take and use to come up and also help other people. Number 28, honey, peace is a currency and so is faith, okay? If it's costing me my peace, it's costing too much. I don't got that kind of money to spend. You know what I'm saying? I don't got that kind of money to spend. I have become somebody who prays for peace, who begs for peace, who is like, you know what I mean? Anything this type of my peace, I just don't want no parts of it. Like I need that mellow moment. I need my quiet. I need a soft song. I need a scripture that comforts my soul. I need to just be able to chill. I can't deal with the hoorah and the yelling and the screaming and the carrying on all day long anymore. It's just not who I'm trying to be. I grew up in that type of environment. I just don't want to be bothered with that. It's too much. It's too much. And when I say faith is a currency, I have learned that faith is a currency through experience, because guess what? When I used to get on my knees last year before I ended up getting evicted, and even after I got evicted, I used to get on my knees and ask God, Lord, please just send somebody today to send me a cash up, a Venmo or a Zelle, honey. Please, I need some money. I need this for me and my kids. I need that. I need this. Even though I was working DoorDash at the time, sometimes I just needed a little extra help. And with that being said, every time I prayed, here come a cash app, here come a Zelle, here come a Venmo. The Lord was sending. He was sending. So I just had the faith like, hey, if I couldn't get it and I prayed and asked God for him to send it through someone, somehow, it was going to come, and it did every single time. Faith is really a currency. Number 29, God speaks to others on your behalf. And this kind of piggybacks off of what I was talking about in 28, how when I prayed for certain things, God sent them. God definitely speaks to others on my behalf. Sometimes I had like random people just coming up to me. I would be sitting out in my car, needing something, thinking about, oh goodness, I don't know if it's an eyelash in my eye or something, but it would want to begin to happen in the middle of me making this video. Nonetheless, so people would just randomly come up to me and say, here, God told me to give you this. You know what I mean? And it used to make me very emotional, because it's like, wow, like here I am praying and wondering and hoping for something to come through for me, or a need to be met for me, and he just literally out here sending random people and telling them to tell me that it was him. You know, so he will round the people up. Anybody who's willing to listen, and anybody who is willing to give and do the work, he's going to send them on your behalf. And I have definitely learned that through experience. Number 30 of 39 things I've learned in 39 years. We only got 9 more to go. So we're coming to an end on this. I hope y'all are learning something from this. I hope something that I said was like a light bulb for somebody and it's going to benefit them in their own life, because that was the main point of me doing these videos. So I hope they benefit somebody. But number 30 is stay away from people who mistreat you and then play the victim, child. The narcissists, honey, them narcissists, boy, they will try to kill you. They will do 51 things to you, and then you react on number 52, and they acting like you killed them. They're acting like you have destroyed their life because you stood up for yourself, or you didn't let them run over you this time, or whatever the case might be. The problem is always going to be you, Um, no matter if it's you reacting to them, it's always going to be you. They're always going to be the victim, no matter what. Even when they do something to you, they're always the victim. So stay away from them type of people. Number 31, trust God. If he's telling you to beware of somebody, listen, even if it's family. So, one day I was praying and fasting, and I heard the Lord say to stay away from this particular friend because she wasn't really for me, and that whenever I would talk to her about my personal matters or whatever, she would go and laugh and tell other people. And I thought I was like tripping, I was still kind of fresh in the fasting arena and trying to tap into the Holy Spirit. So when I heard that, I'm like, nah, this can't be that person. We've been friends forever. It would never really be like that. And as time went on, I think I had one like big incident happen sometime, and I started to notice this person moving real funny, and it kind of reminded me of that moment that I had. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just go ahead and lay low. No love lost. We ain't gotta beef, we ain't gotta argue. I'm not never been the type of person that's going to expose you or put your business out there. We break off a friendship, it's like, it's just clean. The world ain't gotta hear about it. I don't gotta expose you. I don't gotta try to humiliate you. I don't do none of that. We just let it be. Whatever secrets you told me, I'm gonna keep them right where they at, and that's just that. So whenever God telling you to get away from somebody, they not your person, they not for you, whatever, don't really do too much debating with that, because sometimes that could be more harmful in the end. So yeah, that's one thing that I definitely learned. Whenever he's saying somebody ain't right, just go with it. Number 32, watch people closely. Anybody who tries to cause division in your family is an enemy, okay? A total enemy. I remember, I'm gonna tell you this story, right? So a few years ago, I was staying with a family member temporarily. And before I got there, this other family member was also staying there too. So we both was like splitting the couches and stuff in the living room and all of that, right? And I noticed that my family started to act really funny towards me while I was there. And I'm like, I mean, they treat me bad anyway, but this is just like out of nowhere treat me bad. Usually they would maybe have a small reason and just blow it up and go with it. But this was just like literally nothing. Like everything was my fault since I came here. Everything was my kids' fault since I was there, right? And I wonder what's going on. But I'm like, whatever, I'm only here temporarily. I'm gonna go ahead and save my money, get me and my kids out of here, right? At the time, I only had 3 kids. So I'm like, okay, come to find out, we end up getting into this big blowout argument, me and the family member that was staying with this other family member. And come to find out, she was going to them and telling them that I was saying things about them. And she was also coming to me and telling me that they were saying things about me. So by the fact that she saw that we were already like not close and we wasn't, a good bonded family, she saw that she had the gateway to come in there and cause like division and make things more fired up and probably try to get me put out so she could have the living rooms to herself like before, and whatever the case might be. So come to find out, that's what she was doing. And the goal was to just try to turn us all against each other, to create chaos and to get them to feel a way about me so that I could leave. So even though she was family, she's still an enemy, because look what she came in there and did. Like, these were my direct family members. She was like like a off family member, So it's like the fact that you would do that, it shows who you are and that you are an enemy and you're wicked. But it also shows that we're not a close-knit family. So I learned that anybody who can come in and divide like that, or anybody who will allow another person to come in and divide like that, is a straight enemy and probably should be cut off. Number 33, so staying silent is sometimes the best answer. It's obvious when the wicked wants your attention, so please ignore them. Yes. Some people will go out of their way to harass you, to say things to you, to try to get a reaction. And when you see that, it's like so obvious that they're just trying to get a reaction, because they just start saying like off the wall things. It starts small and then it goes to something big and just stupid and immature. So it's like when you see that, please ignore it, because they're craving for your attention, and the best thing you can do at that point is starve them. There's no need to entertain them in any way. They're gonna be more angry when you ignore them, because it's like, why? Why does this person see me as somebody they can they can argue with? You know what I mean? I want to argue with her or him, and they're not giving me the time of the day. What's going on? They just go and go and go till they wear themselves out, and then they just fall off. You know what I mean? They see that you control yourself. It's nothing that they can do to get you to, you know, for them to control you. Because if you respond to them, now they're controlling you, you know? So if you see that, never give up your control over yourself to them. Just let them sit there and wear themselves out. Staying silent is the key. And it has definitely worked for me. And that's a big thing that I've learned in these 39 years. Because before, I'd have been right toe to toe. And it never ends well that way. So yeah, that's a good one. Number 34, if you come from a family that is divided, the internet can cause them to be even worse, but you gotta just keep going anyway. I've witnessed a couple of people online, you know, that have been in the content creation space, and their family is like envious of them, or was already like divided like that, like I said, and is using like, okay, negative things that other people say about them to come out and start saying, oh yeah, this is true, and making videos about them and all of that kind of stuff, and just trying to have like, basically get clout off of their name because they've made something for themselves, you know? So it's like y'all was already beefing in real life. Now you done came on the internet and built something for yourself, and now y'all beefing over the internet too. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, back to what I was saying before, and number 33 was to just ignore a lot of that stuff. Sometimes you gotta ignore your family members on the internet like you do them haters. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, just ignore that and keep doing what you're doing anyway. Keep building, because them same family members couldn't do what you had done, what you are doing. You know what I'm saying? So don't let them come and try to use your name for drama and all of this other kind of stuff. And definitely don't let the internet run your life or the relationship you have with them. Number 35, teach your kids to take care of each other. My kids know that the motto here is no sibling left behind. When I'm gone off this earth, I don't want to have any of my kids struggling. I have an older daughter, she's 21. She'll be 22 next month, and my son is about to be 15, and I got two younger ones. However, I teach them all the time, do not leave your siblings hanging. If your brother need help with a light bill and you got the money, help them. If your sister need help with a portion of her rent, or she need to pay her car note or whatever, and you got it, help her. And y'all build sibling equity with each other, okay? So you do something for your brother, you do something for your sister, and then y'all go back and forth with each other, because, you know, everybody needs help here and there. But I don't ever want to know that any of my kids needed something and the other sibling had it and they left them basically just out there. You know what I mean? So I teach them no sibling left behind. Y'all are siblings, the four of y'all stick together, and y'all look out for each other and be there in full support of each other. Ain't gonna be no whole bunch of arguing and beefing, or no physical altercations. Everybody get along, everybody have each other back, and nobody is left behind. And that's how I wish that I would have been raised, but unfortunately that's not what I come from. So that's why it's even more important. Like, when I really think over what I want my personal family life to look like, that's really important to me, not to have nobody hanging, and everybody stick together and help each other out. Number 36, earning the first 2 hours of your day is important. I never would have thought of this. I actually got this from a mentorship program that I was in. And my mentor was telling us that the first 2 hours of your day should be spent praying, journaling, doing your affirmations, listening to peaceful music, maybe doing a little bit of reading, relaxing, meditating on the scripture. You know, you take a shower, you might want to play some soft music. Like, you really need to take that time and dedicate it to yourself, affirm yourself, and remind yourself of who you are, and what you're able to do, and that nothing can stop you. Journal out your feelings for the day. Just empower yourself. Listen to like a good podcast, a good motivational speech. Read a book that is a self-help book. Like, just really, really, really water yourself. Water yourself. And on the days that I have done that, I have started my day off really, really well and felt so, so good. So that is something that I try to constantly keep in rotation for myself. Number 37, journaling in the AM is better. And this is another thing that I got from my mentor that I would have never thought about, because I was the type of person that would journal later on in the day and just kind of recap my day and how I felt about the day. But when you journal in the morning, you kind of talk about your feelings a little bit deeper. It's just a broader way of writing. You're just starting your day, so you're literally just talking about what's currently in your head. And I like my journal entries like that better versus like a recap of the day. You know what I mean? So yeah, do that, try it, and you probably will like it better as well. It's more fulfilling, and you kind of get to see who you are when you do it like that. Because you're not just talking about what happened that day. You're talking about yourself, your inner feelings, your inner thoughts, your desires, what you really want your life to look like. And it's just good. Like, I just really like it. And I'm glad that she shared that in the mentorship program, because it helped me look at journaling so much more differently. Like, I actually look forward to journaling now versus how I used to just forget and be tired and worn out at the end of the day. I actually look forward to journaling in the morning now. Number 38, setting a gratitude alarm to give thanks for something that happened that day that you're grateful for. So not things like, I'm grateful for my car, I'm grateful for food, the things that you would say in your regular prayers. This is also something I got from my mentor. Set an alarm for something that happened that day. It could be like, oh God, I thank you for allowing me to be quick to slam on the brake today when I was about to get in that car accident. Or God, I thank you for allowing me to be able to bless this person with $10 to get her kids some diapers. Oh God, I thank you for this sweet lady that gifted me this beautiful bracelet today. Or, you know what I mean? Something that happened that particular day. I thank you for my friend that called me and treated me to lunch today. It was so nice, and she took me to my favorite spot, and I felt good about that, and I appreciated that, and I felt considerate for that day. You know, it doesn't have to be like anything wild and crazy, but just something that happened that day that you are thankful for. That is a game changer, and I think everybody should try that. Number 39, we're finally at the end. Number 39, 39 things I learned in 39 years. Bittersweet. Doing whatever is best for your family will always keep you happy, so do it even if it makes others mad. Whether that's homeschooling your kids, whether that is, let me give you an example, because I see it's a content creator on here, and she's married, she has a lot of kids, and people talk about her all the time negatively because they say her husband should be working, she should be at home, this and this and that, you know, all of that kind of stuff. But I actually think that she's smart because she understands the power of two hands. She understands the power of a couple. She understands the power of having help, because everybody might be able to say they don't need no help and this and this and that. But when you got a lot of kids, you definitely need an extra set of hands. And if you think that you are better at the job, or you're better at bringing in the money, and your partner is better at at doing the care of the children, then do whatever works for y'all. I mean, it might not be the ideal situation for everyone else, but if that's what works for you because of your whole situation and the quantity, all the kids that you have, that's what works for you, then you do it. You know, and it makes a lot of people mad, but this person is very smart. I actually respect her on the decisions that she makes on things when it comes to that, because it's a very wise decision. You're gonna, with that many children and the level of work that she does, there's no way she would be able to do all of that work without having a second set of hands around at all times. So she's actually a really wise woman, in my opinion. And you know, people talk and do whatever, you know, but whatever works for the family is really what matters, because that's what's going to make you happy. You always got to be thinking about your specific family dynamic and deciding what that looks like and what's the best move to make sure everybody's getting what they need, and that you can still operate and bring the money in. And here's a bonus one. Excuse me, I got this weird cough. I hope I'm not like getting cooties or anything. But money loves speed and poverty loves indecision. This was actually a tweet that I saw on Twitter from this guy. I can't remember his name, but I keep it as my screensaver on my phone just to remind me. Don't overthink things. Yeah, I do a lot of thinking on certain things, but when it comes to my money, my work, don't overthink that. Be quick with that. Be quick with that. Move with speed, and if it doesn't work, oh well, but don't spend too much time thinking on that because you're going to miss the opportunity if you do. Poverty loves indecision, and yeah, the longer you sit there and wonder, is this going to work for me? Is this the right move? Oh my goodness, should I not? Like, that's when you're going to still be stuck there doing the same thing, not bringing anything in, because thinking doesn't bring money in. Ideas do, but not sitting there thinking, doing absolutely nothing. You got to make a move, and the best thing to do with that move is to move quickly, because success loves speed. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little series that I did on here, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.